So we've got Warhawk out today, and they have brought a beautiful range of mowers. As you can see, here's the Hustler sitting beside them. This is Steve, who is going to introduce Warhawk and talk about the things that they have to introduce to the lawn mowing community and all the things that these accommodate to the lawn care companies.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are a Texas-based company. We are unashamedly American. We enjoy what we're doing. We hire a lot of veterans as well. And we really care about the veteran population and also first responders. We do a nice discount for the ones that are have served. You just need to prove that in order to get your discount. But we have a 6-year warranty, 1,600 hours on all but the smallest one, which is right here. We have 6-year, 600-hour warranty on this, lifetime warranty on the frame, and lifetime on the deck. As far as the little machine, it comes with 3100 Hydro Gear. Everything that we have does have Hydro Gear on the machine. All of ours are standard with run flats in the front as well. A variety of deck sizes from 44 up to 72 inches. We do have another mower in between the Century and the Ranger Pro. It's called the Ranger. It's got 3200s Hydro Gear on it. The next one has the 3400s. The one that's also not pictured is the Commander, which has the 4400s on it, and then it goes up to the 5400s in the Commander Pro. We do have a stand-on too that's not here. It'll also have the 4400s on it, with a 27 horse Kohler engine on it, EFI.
I really like the Kohlers.
For that one, it's a lot of value for what it is.
They're very fuel efficient.
It's fuel efficient. It's got more horsepower, and it's valued. It's a price point deal also.
Now, do you offer 72 in the Ranger Pro Series?
No, we do not.
So
you won't be able to get to a Ranger until the Commander.
Okay, to a 72-inch deck in the Commander.
Correct.
And you guys have a normal Commander and a Commander Pro.
Correct. And that's basically your hydro size from 44 to 54, and then engine size from a carbureted engine to a fuel injected.
So same mower aesthetically, mechanically, but you've got different pumps and motors bigger that you can get on the Pro Series.
Correct. It'll have a spindle. It's the same. It's still a tapered, greasable spindle on it. The biggest difference is your engine horsepower. Your seat is a standard suspension seat versus
the air ride.
Air ride seat, which is on this one. You can pump it up to less down. So the air ride seat, the bigger hydros, and the bigger engine is what the basic difference is between the Commander and Commander Pro.
And I notice you guys are using a dial system for your throttle now.
Correct.
So is that a gear down to a wire?
It's a line by wire, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Does that seem to be a well-working thing?
It is. I like it. It's very responsive.
I like that.
I mean, I like the fact that it's not a regular throttle, but I don't have any issues with that one.
Your placement of, panel seems like it's very easy, the line of sight.
Yeah, you're not really looking behind you to get to it.
And on this series here, this goes up to 5 inches. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, the transport mode's a little bit higher.
Okay.
And you've got 6 gallons of fuel on each side with the toggle switch here. So you've got 12 gallons on this one, 2 5-gallon tanks on the Ranger Pro, and a 1 5-gallon on the Century. I
like the placement on the side versus on the back of the seat where this one's on the back. It's just a little more convenient. They seem like this is definitely more of a commercial setup.
Really easy to work on as well. An open idea for design.
Yeah. It's a big mower. Do you know the weight on this?
It's around 16.
Around 1,600? So this is also a faith-based company and a single owner. This is a newer company. They do make trailers and such, but they're trying to implement the rigidity of their trailer framing things into the mowers as well. As you can see, this one has the grass flap on it, and it's over here on the side. Now, as far as this mower, it has adjustable handles, as you can see here. Like he said, this has a 5400 hydros, and it's running a 26-inch tire. I really like the 26-inch tire. I've never ran this tire. It looks pretty aggressive. I wonder how that's going to do on hillsides. But I like a 26 paired with the 5400 hydro. The 5400 with a 24 is a little bit aggressive, and I just think that the 26 really smooths it out. It also usually gives you 1 mile an hour better over the speed range, and this mower is a single gear, just like on the Hustler X-Ride. The Cheetah utilizes both gears, so you know you've got a low and a high in it. But one of the things that they've got here is they've got a bunch of storage in this. Now, as far as the cup holder and stuff, I'm not sure what that would hold that wouldn't fly out. But if you look back at my videos, there is an adapter to go in these that expands out, and you can make it hold about any cup. So you can fix that with ease. I really like the metal plates they've put on the side. That's something that Hustler kind of went to a few years back, and it made the machine look a lot more professional instead of just having stickers on there to peel off and stuff. You can see here the USB port, and it has a USB-C, so that's really nice that you've got both there, and it tells your battery charge once you start it. So if you had a low battery, you could see that. Just an easy thing. You've got your 2 check engine and your heat light on there with an hour meter. Other than that, this is running the Kohler Commander, and I really like this motor. There's a lot of controversy on the internet, but the fuel efficiency and power delivery of it worked really good on that Cheetah that we had. And the Cheetah with this motor, with this here and my Hustler, if you go back and look at the video, the Cheetah was really, really efficient compared to the Evo motor. So I think for a lot of people, especially when you're mowing every day, fuel efficiency is one of the things that saves you a lot of money. But one of the things that a lot of people have said on the internet, and I've seen dealers say this, I've seen a lot of stuff, is they say that the Warhawk utilizes the same deck as a Hustler. And that's one of the things I want to show you guys today. We have a Hustler deck here, which is a VX4. This is a 60-inch. Here's a 60-inch here, and here's a 72. Now, the 60-inch that's on this, I'll show you guys. You can see that the bull nose and the top, there is some similarities as far as how it's formed on the top side and the pulleys and things, but we'll look at the inside, and you can see that the chute on this is probably 3 inches narrower than what the Hustler is. If you look over here, so you can see how much wider this chute on here is. Another thing is, on this deck, you have a lip here in the front. Now, what that lip does, you can lower it, you can raise it, and basically it's gonna keep your grass from blowing out of your deck. Now, I don't have this one lowered, it's just on the factory setting. I should lower it for better discharge and to not get blowout. I'm gonna do that in the next couple videos and have time today. But one of the things that has is the ability to stop your blowout, because you can drop this down when you mow high. But also, I want to show you inside this so you can see on this Ranger, you can see the spindles, you can see the front lip. It's not movable or anything, but it is smoother in the baffling and stuff. There is a lot of similarities on this deck, but it is not identical. But when you jump to the Commander Pro, this is one of the things I want to showcase. There is nothing besides the top plate and the bull nose that has similarities, and that's what we're going to look at. So you can see here, this is wide, kind of like the Hustler is, and it also has a baffle, kind of like an X-Mark and a Scag. What this baffle does is it catches grass, and it also makes it discharge differently. So you can see here, you're getting that baffling in there, and I really like these baffles. I think they help, but I guess we'll see today how this performs stuff. You can remove this. I really like that. So if you are trying to cut field grass and you just want to get it all out as fast as possible, you're gonna remove this. But also, there isn't a adjustable lip on the front of this, but you can see that the front of this is baffled just like the rear, whereas the Hustler deck is a V nose baffling, and there's no round, baffle in the inside of the front of the deck. So these two are going to cut totally different from each other. So I know there was a lot of people, and I've seen YouTubers and dealers say that Mowhawk or Warhawk has the same deck as a Hustler. And once you get past the Ranger Pro Series, there is nothing in my eyes besides the pulleys and the aesthetics of it that share similarities. I'm really excited to see how this deck cuts. Now, this is a 72, but from everything I was told, you guys can let me know if I'm wrong, but this deck comes in a 60-inch size that is identical to this one. So you guys that are commercially looking to cut and stuff, this is going to be the deck to go to, I think. I really like a lot of the properties of how it's made. And another thing, you can remove the blades with a single bolt. As you can see here, this is just like Hustler. You don't have to take the bolt all the way out of the spindle like a Scag. So you can literally do it with a right angle impact, like I've showed in a bunch of the other videos. To me, that's super handy. You can see how robust built this mower is. I figured that this mower would weigh more than 1,600 pounds because of how thick and how built. I mean, look at the size of the housing where the shaft goes through for your wheel. And this, the bracing, I mean, all that goes through there. Now, weight on mowers plays a role in rutting and things like that. So the heavier your mower, the less you can go over the same pattern without getting rutting and stuff. So that's one of the things that you have to, look at too, because when we had the Ferris out here, it weighed almost 2,000 pounds with the oil guard and things of that nature, and it really makes a difference of how many times you can go over the same spot and not make divots or rut your yard. As you can see here, this has a single belt going back to the pump system, which is, like I said, the pulleys do have similar aspect to the Hustler, but the deck is totally different. One of the things I wanted you guys to notice, this has the grass flap on it. So I really like grass flap, and this gives the operator complete hands-free of his discharge. So you can see here, it's foot operated. You can just click this. That brings your grass flap up and then down. And then I think if you click it real hard, doesn't it do a half staff too?
Flutter it, or then you can just bounce it too.
Does it have to be on to work?
No, you just tap it without going all the way full. A little bit harder.
Ah, there we go. Okay. Yeah. Now on these decks, there's nothing to keep them from going into lockout. They go to 5 inches. So what I would be curious about is if you guys are using these a lot, do you have the deck jump into lockout on these? Because the Hustler, it'll jump into lockout too. And one thing I really like about Exmark is the deck won't jump into lockout. This deck does go to 5.5, so it goes a lot higher than most of the decks in the industry. And here in Kentucky, a lot of times when we cut bluegrass, fescue, things of that nature, the spring, when it's raining like crazy, I have to cut my yard at 5 inches. And I know to a lot of people that sounds insane, but from 1 week to the next, sometimes I even have to cut 6 days and still it's grown up where I can't cut below 5 inches because it just makes a mess of it. But one of the things that I like about that Hustler is it goes up to 5.5. This does go to 5, but I think for a lot of people that's going to suit you just fine. And also you can adjust this higher with the bolts. So if you wanted to run this deck up and make it even higher than 5, you could probably do that by just leveling the whole thing like a ½ inch higher than what you normally would. So this uses deck bolts, just like over here you can see on the Hustler, it uses deck bolts. One of the things that I've seen online, and I've never had this problem, but there were some guys that ran Hustler. I've always been a deck bolt person. I absolutely love the deck bolt system. I think it's just a better system for hillsides and stuff, and I mow a lot of hillsides. It doesn't let the deck shift near as much as a chain does. On a chain, you'll see the deck float side to side way more than a bolt system. But the other day I seen something, a guy had run Hustler his whole life, and he was saying he had swapped brands to a brand that had chains because he kept bending this bolt in ditches. So that's one of the things I'm curious about. If you guys are running a bolt system and you mow a lot of ditches and you're hitting that deck, are you bending the bolts and stuff? Like I said, I've never had that issue, but I'm not mowing anything that I'm in a ditch 24/7. So I'm super curious to see your guys' thoughts. Now, this X-Ride runs a 26-inch tire. It's running the new Evo 820, so 34.5 horse. So it's in between kind of all these guys on horsepower, but the Evo holds its RPM pretty good. It's definitely not as strong as the Kohler 38.5 or the Kawasaki 38.5, and I hope they come out with a 38.5 Evo or a 40 horse Evo in the Kawasaki, because I really like the Kawasaki motors. But over the past couple of years, like I said, I've run that Kohler and I really enjoy that motor. Now this X-Ride is a suspension platform, so you don't have an adjuster up here, but you've got a shock below the seat, as you can see in this, and you can adjust it up and down with the shock to adjust the ride. And with the 26-inch tires and the pneumatic fronts not being solid, it's a really good riding mower, one of the top in the industry. Do these all have solid tires? So for a commercial guy, a solid tire is the only way to go, because if you pop a tire or you run a nail through it, you know, you're going to be down for a while. It's not something that's super easy to just change. And a lot of times, if your dealer isn't right there to have you one ready to go, you're going to be out for the day with that mower. So that's one of the things with the Hustler. If you're a commercial guy, you're going to have to probably swap this tire to a non-pneumatic, meaning air in the front, because a lot of guys running them on and off trailers, in ditches, through who knows what, will pop tires like that. So one of the good things, you can see even all the way down to the Century, you're getting a solid front tire. And I mean, look how massive this, if you look at that front wheel, I mean, look how little this is compared to this. I mean, this thing is just, I mean, it's built like a tank. You can just, I mean, you can see how rigid the thing is, even compared to the Hustler. Like I said, all that adds weight, so it just depends on how that's going to do over time when you're going the same area. But this one has the adjustable seat with the air bladder and the spring, kind of like this, whereas this is the air ride. So when you step up to the Commander, you're getting a lot of things that you don't normally get on the other ones. Is there anything else that you would say as far as, you know, claim to fame for these?
Just a quick correction on the Scout, which is our stand-on version. It's a 34 versus a 44.
Okay.
On the hydros, but you know, just in general, we're growing. We know we haven't built a perfect machine. We continuously strive to be better, and that's our goal. And it's easier to do when it's just a set group of guys that are
family owned and you can talk to them
to just be the best we can and continue to get better every year.
And what he's talking about, guys, is when I started doing YouTube, there's several companies, including Hustler, that were owned by a littler branding company. And just take, for instance, like Hustler was bought out, and now is the same, you know, company that Cub Cadet owns and a blue other, you know, so many other brands. They've went to a corporate style deal. It's a lot harder to communicate with the main people of Hustler now than it was 2 years ago. And you take this, a minute ago, we was on the phone with the owner of this company, or at least some guys that were in the company, within minutes, and we could ask them any question. That is huge. If you have a line to the direct consumer to where you're willing to listen to them and work with them, to me, that's something that I really enjoy. It speaks volumes that they're wanting to work with the company. It kind of reminds me of like Ed on, you know, the Right Company and stuff. You see him at the shows, you see him talking and conversating with people. I think that speaks volumes for the company, and I wish all companies were that way. But this company is an American company that is, you know, right in Texas, and you're able to not only be a part of a family type deal, but like he said, they're a faith-based company, which should, if they're biblically doing things, they're always going to take care of the people and do what's right. Is there anything else you would say?
We do work with canines for warriors as well, so every mower we do sell, a little bit of that is contributed to veterans with PTSD that needed a dog to help them cope and manage throughout the day.
Yeah. Another thing I'll say is this has the parking brake right here. It's super convenient. A lot of these companies put them down here, or they put them somewhere it's really hard to get to when you're trying to be on a hillside and stuff. That is really easy to get to. Hustlers is in the handlebar. I've always been the biggest fan of that because you just close the handlebars out and it just stops wherever you want to go. I really like that for the ease, but that one's easy to get to. And these two here, where's the parking brake on?
Same as Hustler.
So these are in the handlebar. Mm-hmm. Is there any reason that they didn't go to that with the...
Initially, we wanted it to be a little bit stronger, but I think our future design will have that in the handlebars as well.
Oh, that's exciting. I love that. Mm-hmm. But I didn't know these two. So like I said, these are in the handlebars.
Correct.
And so he's saying futuristically, they may change to where it's in the handlebars on the Commander. You guys can give your feedback on that, and that'll help them, you know, decide, I'm sure. But we're going to get these to cutting and see how all of them do on hillsides and stuff, and do some field grass. So stay tuned.